So let's do our nails. I'm gonna pull out my cuticle remover and I'm gonna apply it to all of my cuticles. And once I'm done doing that, I am going to rub them in and let them set for just a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds around there. And once they're done setting, I am going to go in with my cuticle pusher and just push back all of that cuticle so that I can open up the nail bed. And as you can see, I'm scraping off the dead skin as well that's on the nail plate. And I'm just going to do that with the rest of my fingers. And I'm just going to wipe it off with a paper towel because it is pretty gross. And I'm going to flip the cuticle pusher and use the other side and scrape off all of that dead skin that was left on the nail plate so I can get in all the creases and crevices. And it just helps with cleaning the nail plate so that the nail tips do not lift. And I'm going to do that with the rest of my nails. And then I'm going to clean off my nails with some alcohol just to take off all of that remover because it is pretty gross and you don't want that when you're doing your nails. And then I'm going to go in with my base gel, which is a base coat. And I'm going to put a relatively thin layer just so that it can cure properly in the lamp. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to cure all of those for 60 seconds in the lamp. Then I'm going to pull out my nail tips and I'm going to size all of my nails. So when you size them, you want to make sure that the nails fit sidewall to sidewall. As you can see right here, I'm kind of giving an example. So this size actually fits really good on my thumb, so I'm going to keep that. Put it to the side and going to the next finger. Sidewall to sidewall fits pretty well. And I'm just going to keep going with each finger. Middle finger fits good. And ring finger fits pretty good too. And I'm going to go with my pinky. And this one was a pretty small size. You can see there's a little bit of side nail there. So I'm going to size up and it fits pretty good. So now I'm just going to go in with my base coat and I'm going to apply the nails with my little nail lamp here. It does help with the process so that you're not using your big lamp. And I am going to apply some gel on the inside of the nail tips, a pretty thin layer. And then in the end, I'm going to scrape off the excess gel near the cuticle. And then when you apply the nail tips, you do want it to be applied at a 45-degree angle, just like this, so that you can apply it with no air bubbles. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to cure it under the little light for about like a few seconds. And I got this light off of Amazon for like $13-14. And that's the process. And so I'm just going to move on to the next nail. Scraping off the excess and applying it at a 45-degree angle and curing it under the lamp for a few seconds. And do that with the rest of your nails. So lastly I'm doing my thumb and pushing it down 45-degree angle and curing it. And once you're done with that, with all of them, you're just gonna cure under the lamp for 60 seconds. So there is this little nub here at the end of the tips. I'm just filing that off so that it doesn't affect the painting process that we're going to do. And so I'm just doing that with all of my fingers. So now that I'm done with all of the fingers, I'm going to brush it off and making sure there's no lint. So I'm grabbing some paper towel and alcohol and rubbing all of the nails to dehydrate them so that the gel has something to stick onto, as well as taking off all that lint and dust. So now we can go on with the color. So I'm using this brown color from the brand Beetles. And so the first coat we're going to do is going to be relatively thin because you don't want it to affect the curing process in the lamp. If it's too thick, it's not going to cure correctly and it's going to get warped and lumpy. So you just want to do a thin layer. It's going to look ugly, but that's okay. The second coat will definitely cover it. And if you have any gel on your skin, make sure to wipe it off right away, as you can get an allergic reaction from it. So I just did that with all of my nails, wiping off the flooded areas, and I'm curing it for 60 seconds. Once that's done, I'm going to do my second coat, which can go on a little bit more thicker than the first one, just making sure it's not too thick. So I'm just trying to get it as close to the cuticle as I can, making sure I'm trying not to flood any of the areas onto my skin, and making sure that I'm applying it at an even level so that it can look nice and clean. And I'm just going to do that with the rest of my fingers. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to cure them for 60 seconds. And we're not done. We still have a top coat. Make sure not to touch any of your nails. So when applying top coat, you do want to apply it evenly, not lumpy, because this is the finishing product after we cure this. And so make sure to apply it evenly. Make sure there's no lint, dust, or anything like that. And we're just going to do that with all the nails, and make sure to wipe away all the flooded areas. So we're going to cure that for 60 seconds. And once that's done, I like to go in with my file just to clean up the edges and make all the corners crisp and clean. So that's what I'm doing here. It should be fine with the non-wipe top coat because you cannot touch the nail. It won't be sticky anymore. So I'm just cleaning up all the edges here. So I'm just finishing up my last nail. And once we're done, I'm just going to dust it off real quick just to keep it clean. And I'm going to go in with my cuticle oil just to rehydrate the nail after all that alcohol we just put on top of it. Just to moisturize it a little bit more. And I'm going to rub it in just to get in there. And that is it.